Aloha and welcome to the second class in the Brahmani Embodied Chakra Series. Crossing the right foot in front of the left foot, we go back to that upright cat and cow. So again, rounding and arching, feeling that action come from the pelvis and letting the spine respond to it. And then when you're ready, we add the reverse wave. So the cat drops the crown of the head down to the floor, and then lifts the chin first, back of the head, back of the shoulders through cow to tuck the tailbone under to round. And do 2 or 3 more rounds like that. Let your breath find its own way here. When you inhale and exhale, should start to feel natural to help you elongate. And then when you're ready, coming back upright, turning over your left shoulder, left hand down, lift the hips up, and we come back to downward facing dog again. Step the feet back a little bit. And once again, we're going to take 2 or 3 of those double waving vinyasas, finding that hovering cow to push back through your downward facing dog, using that springiness. But again, there's a lot of power to this. You can add a bit of momentum so they start to go a little bit faster. One more. Or resting in down dog. And we will meet up in down dog if you're not already there. Taking a moment. Softening the knees, we walk the hands back towards the feet. So we can drop the heels here and just take a moment to shift weight, shake your head no a few times so that you know we're already finding that sense of being, having energy, but still being able to let the body relax. So it remains responsive. And then we're rolling up and down. So again, mimicking this, working with the pelvis to get the spine to wave. So as you bend the knees even more, think about your sit bones dropping down towards the floor behind your heels, and then it's a slight tucking under of the tailbone to roll up. My arms are going to come up following me, back of the hands towards each other, elbows lift, and for a moment I'm going to find that standing cow pose. So tailbone sticks out, chest lifts, chin lifts. Get cactus arms, and then drop it all the way down to the forward fold. So we're going to do that a few more times, getting that full ripple effect. Bending the knees, sit bones behind the heels, rolling up. Back of the hands towards each other so the elbows can lead. When I get upright, I tilt the pelvis in the opposite direction, stick tailbone out, lift chest, and then fold it down through the center. A breath in and out down there. And once again, bend the knees. Drop the tailbone, tucking it under, rolling up. Elbows open, and then when I get to the top, find the cow, bend the knees, and then drop back down through the center. We'll hold it here for a breath or 2. And then walk your hands forward, not too far, just enough to bring the shins down, untuck the toes, hips to the heels, and we're going to do a waving Ustrasana. So same principle we just did, but we're starting from child's pose. So now tucking the tailbone under, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time, back of the hands together. And again, for a moment here, I'm going to find my Ustrasana, so I'm not going to tuck the tailbone under. I'm going to lift the chest up, and then as I lower back down, then I'll start to tilt the tailbone to come back down to the starting point. And then again, rolling it up, back of the hands together. I get that moment where I'm in an open Ustrasana, so glutes engaged, chest lifting, and then stick the tailbone out and let the spine follow. 2 more times like that. Rolling up. sticks out, and melting it down. One last time. Rolling it all the way up. And tailbone out, and melting it all the way down. This time rolling it all the way up. And we'll pause here upright in this, let's just call it a floating Ustrasana. Now, if you're comfortable, you can keep reaching your arms either over your head, out to the side, or take the hands onto the back of the hips, lift the chest, a little looking from right to left side. So I still get to shift weight. I don't want to be so deeply into the position that I can't negotiate. And then bringing the spine all the way back upright, stepping forward with your right leg. So we have this upright lunge. I'm going to tuck my back toes under. If that's not comfortable for you, keep the toes flat. Once again, starting with the movement of the pelvis, I'm going to drop the hips forward. So I'm in this nice elastic lunge, one of my favorite words, and then stick the tailbone out and then tuck it under to curl upright. So I start with it moving forward so that then the spine opens this way, and then I stick it out to roll up. So again, I'm leading with the pelvis. So for some of you, if connecting all of this together is still feeling a little bit awkward or disjointed, just make it small movements so you feel the tilt of the pelvis change with the shift of the weight from the right foot to the left. And then you should be able to start feeling how the spine can respond. So those of you that want to make it a little bit bigger, go ahead and make it bigger. And then let's bring it all the way upright, reaching both arms up towards the ceiling. Get long through both sides of the body, and then we're twisting to the right. Left hand touches the right knee, right hand to the back of the hips. Lift up through the ribs and gently look over your right shoulder. Deepen the breath. And then slowly untwisting. Plant the hands back down on the floor. We'll step back to downward facing dog. Here, let's just do one of those double wave vinyasas. Finding your downward facing dog for a breath or two. And then shins down to the floor. And finding our child's pose once again. Forehead to your hands or any comfortable variation of child's pose. And I still like to add just like that tiny investigation, a little shifting of weight from right hip to left hip. And then let's do all of that on the other side. So we start with just one wave through the spine, rolling all the way up and melt it back down to the floor. And then we lead the spiral with the left arm. As you come up, reach the left arm back, up and around, and dive both hands forward. And then right arm back, up and around, and dive. And left, and forward. And then the right is what's going to lead us into the arm thread the needle. So you dive that right arm under, shoulder towards the floor, and then open the elbow up to the ceiling. And then dive it under, and open it up. One more time, dive it under, and open it up. And then dive it under to stay. Take a breath or two. Feel through the right side of the neck, in between the shoulder blades. And then we add the left leg now. So it's going to reach the same direction as the right fingertips, tucking the toes under, send that heel away. And then adjusting, which arm is this? My left arm. So my left hand comes down behind my head to push down and unfold to our pigeon now across the mat. And again, this is where I get to get a little bit more personalized, you know. Is it more interesting to investigate the left leg, so the back leg, the extended one, the hip flexor, the quadricep? You can even grab a hold of that foot and squeeze it in. Or do I need to move more into a forward fold over the right leg? It's all up to you. But remember, I want to stay in scientist mode. I'm in the lab, and this experiment is my body. When you're ready, we'll move into Janu Shirshasana. So dropping that right hip to the floor, extend through the left leg. Interlace the fingers once again, push the palms away. So for a moment, just round in the back, separate the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in and out. And then reaching the hands all the way up. And again, we're starting that circular action. But can I find the fluidity without losing the strength and stability, right? So something has to be engaged. Now in this case, it's going to be the smaller muscles around the spine and the core, the deeper core muscles, as well as the outer core muscles. Remember, there's more core muscles than just your transverse abdominis or lower abdominals. That's just one part of your core. And then when you're ready, let's just bring it all the way upright, pausing here for a few breaths. And then as you release the arms, fold the left foot in. And we go back to the upright cat and cow, rounding in the back. So the tailbone tilts first, the spine follows. And just feel that. Again, where does the movement start? Lumbar spine, then thoracic spine, then cervical spine, then head. So you really feel that slow unfolding, that slow wave that happens. And then we'll add the reverse wave, so dropping the crown of the head down to the floor, lead with the chin, the chest, open up. 2 more times like that. The tailbone tucks under first, then the spine rounds, fold it forward. Lift the head, the neck, and the chest. And then round. 1 more time. As you come back to center, turning over the right shoulder, opening up to downward facing dog now. 2 or 3 of those double waving vinyasas. And again, just see if you can get that sense of fluidity and strength moving through all the joints now. So this action really starts from the heels, the feet, pushing off, rolling through the spine. Up and downward facing dog for a few breaths. And then we walk the hands back to the feet. Again, just take a breath or 2 here, just shifting weight a little bit. Maybe even dangling the arms. We can grab a hold of the elbows. And then rolling up and down again. So as you bend the knees, think sit bones behind the heels. It's the tailbone that tucks under, the spine follows. Elbows lead as you come all the way up. Lift the chest for a moment, find that standing cow pose to then drop it down through the center. And again, bend the knees, sit bones drop back, and then the tailbone curls. Just enough. It's not a huge tucking under until it finds neutral. Open the chest up, bend the knees, sit bones go back, and drop it down. One more time, bend the knees, rolling up. And then the next time you're in the forward fold, we walk the hands just a little bit away to bring the shins down, untuck the toes, and we have the same waving action, but now into our Ustrasana. So as you roll up and lift the hips up off the heels, back so the hands come together, and for a moment we have this just free floating Ustrasana, and then tailbone sticks out, hips drop down to the heels, and we fold forward back into the child's pose. And then rolling up, coming upright, opening up, finding that free Ustrasana, and then as you sit back, the tailbone moves back and away. One more time, rolling up. And dropping the hips down and around. And this time we come up to stay. So again, I don't want to commit to an Ustrasana just yet. Either hands to the back of the hips or arms just reaching out, or you can even take the arms to the back of the head. I just want to maintain a little bit of that negotiation, that movement in the pelvis. Again, so the spine finds its freedom, and I'm really telling the collarbones to see the ceiling, not much more. And then bring the spine upright. We step forward with the left foot this time. And just start with shifting weight, right? So remember, we're gonna work with the pelvis, tucking under and sticking out, but noticing how the spine follows. That's the interesting thing. So, for this round, I'm just keeping my hands on my hips so I can feel a little bit more into it. I'm gonna tuck my back toes under. That's a choice not all of you will want to make, but I just always feel a little bit more stable with the ball of my foot connected to the floor. And then the next time you come upright, go ahead and reach both arms up. Now just get long. So we've created this wave-like action. Let's see if we created space with it to then rotate to the left now. Right hand to the outer left knee and left hand on the back, gently turning the chin towards the left shoulder. And breathe. Let the breath take over in these moments. Allow yourself to slowly untwist. Plant the hands either side of that left foot, stepping back to downward facing dog. And just one double waving vinyasa. And we will meet up in child's pose when you're ready. And just notice how that breath feels in the body now. Is there a natural ripple? Does the spine have a little wave? Because as you make that first part of the inhale, you have to remember the diaphragm is dropping down to make the space. And as you exhale, the diaphragm gently pushes back up. And it's not a huge amount of movement, but if we can really tune into the breath and into the gentle undulation it creates in the spine, it's really fascinating to observe. All right, so we'll kind of breeze through this first part a little bit quicker so that we can add on a little bit more with the standing poses. So when you're ready, the first action is just rolling up through the spine. Hands come to the knees or the thighs. You lift the chest and melt it forward. Dive the hands down. Now it's the right arm